All
Hey
righty.
guys, this is me, Chris, and George. Today we're doing uh, Chris giving George 6 stones. So far, we've done this before, and George hasn't won yet. I think today he's going to win, but we have yet to see if that's true. 6 stones, as we know, is a massive handicap, but
Hmm.
Chris does great. Okay, George is leaving, so he can't hear us. And Chris and I will be seeing the game on this board where he and I both have control at the same time.
Yeah.
That's it.
What an amazing tool that is.
It is.
Shout out to Jared in Colorado who put that together as a passion project to help people connect and play Go and study Go easier.
Yeah. Okay, everything makes sense so far.
Hmm. Hmm. At some point, I will be grabbing coffee. So if I go quiet and disappear for a moment, that's what that's about. And so my strategy in these handicap games, I don't know if George is going to remember it, but they typically tend to remain the same. I like to get 2 corners worth of territory and then attack the 2 side stones and 6 stones specifically. I find these two to be the biggest positional weak points in the black position, the stones that the weaker player typically cannot handle efficiently well.
Okay. We will
So,
watch for this.
yep. We have various ideas off the bat that we think about AB, right? And this can be mimicked on the right side as well. Attachments like 1,
Uh-huh.
2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
These are all things that even from the very beginning of the game, I'm thinking about if I'll be able to set them up or use them in
Yeah.
some meaningful way. So I want to coordinate these sort of weak points in the black position with the corners basically, and see what we can make of it. And so George is taking the opening fairly slow. He's playing fairly solid here, which is good. He's not allowing for any mistakes off the beginning. Go ahead and reapproach this one. See what he wants to do on the right side a little bit. Start breaking up that
Six
area.
stones is so big.
You know, it's funny. I think I mentioned this last time. I actually find 4 stones to be a much harder handicap.
What you mean, yeah.
Mm. Now here we have some interesting choices. Like locally, I can play any of the 4. Um, hmm. I want to coax him into pushing me naturally closer to this stone.
Uh-huh.
For those that might be wondering why I'm choosing to play the short extension instead of one of the more modern moves, sort of more modern Joseki we might expect to see here being something like this. But when black has A, it's hard for white to play B already. So the Joseki is kind of stifled if I go that way. And if I pick this one, black can block. And if I connect, he can block again. Um, I'm just not as big a fan of those variations. So I'd rather go for this one and then try to get him to make this attach Hane exchange, which naturally gives me stones closer to the target that I have positioned.
Uh-huh.
I don't worry about things like his cross cut after. If he tries to come back and cut me, then this is actually going to help me settle in the position. So
Yeah.
we don't really worry about this attach and cross cut idea. We can handle it quite easily. That would be more in sort of White's wheelhouse anyway, of things that we would want to have happen. And while George is thinking about this move, I'm gonna put the coffee on real quick.
Okay. For listeners, just imagine you're black to play, and you're playing someone who's at least 6 stones stronger than you. Scary. Which one do you choose? How do you go about deciding? It's hard stuff. Go is so hard.
Yeah, Go is very hard.
Oh, very hard.
And Go
Yeah,
is
I just profoundly so.
very hard. So this was a bit unexpected, actually. This answer. I mean, it refutes my plan to some degree,
Yeah,
which is cute, I suppose.
it's awfully passive.
So I'm gonna challenge him a little bit. I'm just gonna play a very stubborn move and see how he responds. This move is easy enough for White to handle, but difficult for Black to make a decision. White can slide and get a base on either side. White can jump to the center. White can lean against the Black stone. The White group itself is going to be fairly safe, but Black's corner isn't completely alive yet. It's not going to die, but it's not quite there.
So something you do all the time is you ask questions of your opponent. Most people don't even think about that.
Yeah.
You do it all the time.
How else am I supposed to know what to do? It's so much harder if you have to do the guesswork to find out what they want, right? It's usually easier just to ask them, hey, what are you trying to do here? And then once you have a solid answer, you can figure out where to go. I don't know. I just find it to be easy. This move is not very easy, as indicated by the amount of time George is already taking and the facial expressions he's making when he sees it.
His facial expressions. He's over there. Oh my God, what should I do? Oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. This is a very stubborn move. It gets overlooked by a lot of players, actually. I feel like maybe right around the low to mid dawn range, they probably expect things like the slide or like some jump or Hane or something from center. But this one, I mean, this was one of the points we were interested in occupying right from the start anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're sort of getting it again in a natural way, but in also a very stubborn way. I like being stubborn when my opponents have a 70-point advantage on me.
If you ever have trouble with that, my wife gives lessons.
How to be stubborn.
She's a master.
9P, huh? She's a real Naiwei level player in that regard. This one, that one's a bit interesting.
Yeah, like he's trying to do something on the right which isn't working. So all you have to do is settle. Can't say as I agree with it, but it's understandable.
It's a very interesting shape. It's a very interesting shape. I'm thinking about playing another very stubborn move here. Is that trade worth it? Is that trade worth it?
I think I know what you're talking about. Torn.
I guarantee it's a move he was not expecting.
I wasn't expecting that. You put it down and go, what? Oh, I guess that's reasonable.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about which way I want to go after he extends. If I'm gonna push or if I'm gonna Hane, but just gonna keep asking questions until I get some kind of answer I want. What's it gonna be, Georgie boy? I mean, Bot can really only extend, I think. Anything else should be helping white. I guess he could consider R11. It's probably fine, but extending still seems like the most optimal shape. Yeah, this one is a modification to the jump cut here. There are cases where white likes to play this type of thing. And then when white can have the 1-2 as a Miai, white really likes it. But when, or if like white can get some squeeze like this can also be playable. But with this one, I have the option to sort of transpose. I can Hane still, and if he cuts, I can extend to R9 and save the stun immediately on the outside with that exchange. Then if he cuts at Q11, I can pull the stone out. So I'm debating if I like that better than just pushing. Pushing puts more pressure on his corner and threatens Hane at the head of 2. Shape-wise, push should be better. But this is often where I get told I make a mistake.
Are you still taking your lessons with that guy?
Not super recently, no. When I say I'm told I make this mistake, it's more so when I review my own games with AI. After I play them, and I'll have a decision point like this, and I'll be like, "Oh, I wonder what the AI says about my choice here," and then it tells me that I picked the wrong one. It's like every other choice that I make, I pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Such as life when everyone has 9p at their fingertips. At least in the review capacity. But okay, George is just playing really solid. He wants the bottom right corner. That's fine. He can have it. I'm going to force him to save this top right corner and go to probably consider that to be my profit and then move to the next big place. Now, for Q players at home, it's very tempting to see this white shape and think, oh, I can attack this. If you do that, try to attack this very, very hard against an opponent that's significantly better than you, you're going to lose a lot of your handicap very quickly. So in this case, probably better for George to just settle and give white the Sente. And then handle later. But we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. Points of interest. Post-settling, I would really like to come in around A or B or C. Invasion around D is probable as well, somewhere in the bottom right corner. I can be patient and play E and give him the next move and see what he's interested in and then go from there. There's still a weak point in the shape at F, which is why I marked D. Normally when black has a wall here, D is less attractive, but because his wall has weaknesses, there's things I can do on the right side. So just some of my expectations for where this game might go.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that George is really taking his time.
That can be hard to do. People are waiting and watching. Oh, I better play a move real quick. Take your time.
Well, there's no stress here. It's actually better that he does take his time and keep himself in a relatively stable position as long as possible, because if he blitzes, it's just going to play to my benefit anyway.
Right.
Most of my games are played with 15 seconds. This is, again, the second time in a handicap game he's played this move. And it's the second time in a handicap game I don't agree with this. I get why he's doing it, but that was not the time. By now, I think most of you viewers understand why I don't like this move.
If he's alive in the corner, you still don't like it?
Yeah, I don't like it. Because to have to be forced to live is going to let me fix my outside. It's going to be painful. So I'm going to get a lot of benefit here in Sente, and then I'll be able to go back and break the bottom right area anyway. So what did K4 accomplish? At this point, the K4 stone's best future is going to be working to build this box. But I already see that, so that's not going to happen. Right? Like, in a perfect world, he's going to trade away the A area for the B area. And he'll get to keep the B area. But the problem is the B area is the harder area to keep anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a trade that I'm fine with. Now he played the turn, which is a counter-attacking option. I actually don't hate this one. This one is good fighting spirit from George. Very good fighting spirit. And then just for anybody wondering, black is allowed to break through and connect. But if black does that, I'm allowed to go here and erase this area naturally.
Yeah.
If this area is erased naturally, then this K4 stone only has this future. And it's very easy for me to get in from here or here to reduce that. So this is white simplifying the game, or offering to simplify the game, and black is playing the strongest move, I think, which is the outside Hane, and not falling for white's tactic trap, which is the cut. So now we get to be stubborn again. Connecting means that if he comes through the gap, since he refused my trade, if he comes through the gap, we can block it off from the 2 area, and the shape is strong enough to hold the disconnect. There is a Tessagy for George if he can find it, which is the peep at A. So we'll sort of also use this as a check against George's reading. We'll see how good his shape intuition is. I would say right now, George has lost about 1 of the 6 stones. That's based off of the questionability of this so far. This one.
Big.
It's not small. That's certainly true. It's not small. Probe it again. This has become the game of probes. How do you play 6-stone handicap? Go probe everything. We'll sum it up to 2 letters, P and P. Probe and pray. Okay, the outside connection is expected. I'm gonna block that.
How much time is on your clock? On his clock?
14 minutes. He's averaging about a minute a move. Averaging about a minute a move to my 23 minutes. So I'm averaging about, I've only played 15 moves in 3 minutes. So I'm averaging significantly less time than that. But my decisions are pretty easy because all I've been doing is asking questions most of the time. So just finding the shape, poking at it, thinking about the whole board strategy that I'm going for. And it's ultimately been very relaxed. Okay. So he's taking the corner here. This is giving me the chance to kill his corner, but he thinks that the bottom right corner is just significantly bigger. And that might be reasonably true. But I feel like I have to take it. I don't want to give him R5 and S17, so
Right.
Another thing, I feel like Q players, they tend to get impatient. They see the bottom right corner and they go, oh no, I don't have time to kill, have to invade, and then they die, and then their opponent lives in the other corner, and then game is over, you know. But I'd rather just kill this corner now and not have to deal with it. The K4 stone is still in a weird spot, and I can still do things in the bottom right area because he's got this shape is still quite thin. So I have things like attach at 1, attach at 2 I can aim for. I have attach at 3 I can aim for. Like there's a lot of different ways that I can break it. Okay. He likes to do this a lot when he has Sente. He likes to do this a lot. This is fine. It's big. But generally speaking, when you have that stone, it's not the biggest. And I say that because if I can just go back really quick, let's imagine black played away. You kind of want white to come in a lot of these cases because then you get something to work with. If white has a weak group that has to run and black can attack and play solid, black's going to win the game easy. It's not going to be tough. But this is like not really exercising the power of the 1 stone. He's trying to convert the 1 stone into territory on the left, while also keeping the corner. And there's potential there for black to spread himself thin. I'm just going to continue to be patient. Just going to continue to be patient. We're going to test the K4 stone and this left side box that he can build towards the center. And just roll out the slow and methodical punishments. Georgia's at 13 minutes.
When you have time, I'd like you to take off white S18 and show how black can live.
Okay, I can do that. So if we imagine for just a moment, where's my arrow? There's my arrow. I went too far back. If we imagine white didn't play there, the easiest move for black to start with is this inside attachment. If white clamps to try to kill it, then black can either counter clamp or connect and try to go underneath on the first line. If black connects here, this one, if white tries to connect through with this move, this one gets refuted by clamp.
Right. So we play
Hmm?
white R16.
Right. So
No weakness.
where's the 16th line?
Not S18.
Right.
That seems
So,
awfully weak to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here you can do this one. This one is fine also. Probably black just connects.
White Hanes into the corner.
Yep, Mike and
Yeah.
Hane. Block.
Only one eye. How does black
Yeah.
live? Those weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so white's gonna have to defend. Probably, actually, this defense is not the best one. Probably white should just connect or bamboo. But when white connects, black can play this Kosumi, and then the second die appears.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a very good question. Very good
I would
question.
have said black might be dead, but there's so much Aji. I want to clean it up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to read all that out.
So on the game line, he's playing to keep the left side. This was expected. We're gonna go ahead and give it Hane one time. And I'm expecting him to extend here, although he could have played the Hane. And the Hane might have actually been better. But now we have Sente. What do we do with Sente? What is my favorite thing to do with Sente?
Ask a question. Man, I wouldn't see that one coming.
Well,
To
I've
me,
been
you're
planning.
saying, please take the entire left.
So yeah, these were the original 5 moves I was considering to break the left side. 1 and 2 make less sense when black is strong in both corners. 3 and 4 are possible, but again, they have to deal a little bit more with the strength in the corner, and the attachment in the center lets me stay to the outside reasonably well. So, seems fine to me. And as white, I can do just about anything here. You know, I don't necessarily need to do anything specific besides get some kind of group here with some degree of health. So it makes figuring out the best way forward for black a little bit harder. What is black's target? Well, we don't know yet. You know, such as the nature of the light shapes, black has to sort of pick the right direction. Now, George could double Hane. That would be strong.
These last 2 moves of yours, for me, are the most educational of the game. Everything else is like, well, yeah, but this really.
Yeah. If we kind of just consider the territory for a moment, black has some portion of the territory in this corner. It's not clean yet. And black is pretty much going to get this corner. That's guaranteed. This area here is a big question mark. This area here is a big question mark. So we can count maybe half the value of each of those. And then for white got the really big corner guaranteed. And white's already gotten the second corner guaranteed. So really what I'm just trying to figure out is how much of this do I need to compensate for and get ahead of? Because if I can do that, then I'm winning on points. Now in the game, George decided to connect, which means for me, these 2 exchanges are already good enough. I don't have to continue locally here. If George ever cuts and captures one side, then the connecting stone at D9 is wasted. So I'm okay with him losing Sente 1 move here. That'll be another move that kind of like K4, that lapse in tempo can become very painful. So I'm going to play this one. And mainly because this one threatens A, but also builds area B. It's a good double purpose move. I'm just not in a hurry to break this area yet, or this area yet. Mostly because right now I don't think I'm strong enough in the center to successfully do it in a meaningful way. So I'm hoping that he'll try to refute my box and give me the strength that I want so that when I break his area, it's a much easier time.
Can't we say that this white move, I mean, a black's going to respond, and that helps him in the corner, giving him the corner?
A little bit, sometimes, yeah.
I just can't imagine playing this way.
But realistically, if I jumped into the corner, it was a 3 versus 1 fight. He should be getting. We end that sequence. If he ends with Sente, he should be getting 16 more points than me anyhow.
But I would be approaching, threatening that, and then growing. And yeah, I want to see how this turns out. This is educational for me. Last 4 moves.
Yeah, middle game is there's many different ways in the middle game. Oh, the slide. That one was rather unexpected. Okay. So he's making that corner as big as he can. That's fine. That's fine. Mm. 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 This one seems to really be putting George in the think tank.
My guess is he's feeling quite confident right now. Because he's got a lot of points.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Strong groups.
He's doing very well. He's doing very, very well. We can only do our best, you know.
Oh yeah. A lot of my students recently, I've had a few of them. They're like, but it's like at 6 stones. But I'm going to lose. Exactly. 6 stones. You're going to lose. So just play rationally.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's 100% the truth.
Why did he play there?
Yeah, the turn was a bit unexpected. I think he's thinking he's gonna go. He's gonna go. Yeah, I think he's gonna go after my 2 stones on the left somehow. That would be an absolutely ecstatic time for me. I would love it if he did that. Like, please give me something to go after. Give me something to counterattack and remove this this handicap with. But not answering in the bottom right corner does mean that I should be able to, without too much difficulty, make a life there that's quite comfy. I'm just debating whether it's better to push at Q3 or to slide attach at S5 first. Now I'm the one in the think tank. That's not good.
This is true.
Okay. Let's start with this one. Just because this move is a harder move that gives black more choices, I think functionally it's not going to be too different. Resuming optimal play, but in handicap go, you have to encourage your opponent every so often to make a big blunder. And what better way to do that than to ask harder questions first?
Right.
Mm. 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 Right now, these three are the most questionable. Technically, these four are the most questionable decisions. If there's been any move in the game that's lost handicap for George, it would be these. So he played this one. No doubt he's expecting me to pull back, and then he's going to connect, and then slide, block, push, block, and live. This is probably what he's reading. And then his plan, if I have to guess, is either going to be to come at 8 or 9.
I wonder if that's what I thought you were going to do. That's big. That's a big move right there.
Things don't always go according to plan, George. Sometimes
And now
the
if he
opponents get
saves
crafty.
the cut, his whole group is weak. That's harsh.
Yeah. It gives White a good excuse to bail out into the center and start destroying Black's area. I'll give him the cornerback to do that. That's fine.
Capturing those 2 stones is pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think he can let it happen. But it definitely seems to have caught him off guard. He went from having his hand on his chin to front-facing, staring at the board, kind of deep in contemplation here. He chooses the solid connection. Okay. And we shall go our way. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be Atari T9 and then cover. Oh, just cover directly. Okay. You can do it without the Atari. That's fine. You can do it without the Atari. Atari, doot. My turn. He gets the first move in the center. Is the center bigger than saving this right now? Time to calculate. Turn. There. Versus, I take this one first. He goes back and kills it. Doot. It's gonna swing 2, 4, 6, 8. Points. This one, I think this one is just a little bit bigger right now. So this is just a counting exercise. Because there's no real weak group discussion on the right anymore. I can save the 3 stones and kill the 2, but it's a matter of endgame right now. So it's big, but I think the center is just a hair bigger. It's an order of magnitude of 3 to 5 points. So I want to get this one first. We'll see what he does. If he wants to simplify the game, the easiest way for George to simplify the game would be to just kill the right side endgame now. Which he may do. He's in a very simplify the game and throw stones away kind of mood. But he may also try to defend his bottom right center. I really, at this point, I don't know where Black is going to go. Black has many choices. I can't say I expected this one. This one, I expected. I cannot say I expected this one. I'm going to try to commit him to saving the left side now with something like C12 or D11. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 80 points if he gets everything. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 30, 32, 34, 36, 40 in the upper right. 58, maybe 50 with this. So right now I'm close to 30 to 40 points down still, if he takes everything. That's a big if. But if he gets everything. I have one benefit though. I have one shining benefit in this position, Lance.
What's that?
It's only moved 61 and he's got 1:30 on the clock.
Oh.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the enemy of my enemy is time.
Isn't white T8 result in a ko?
If we connect T8, he's going to play T7. We can throw in at T10. He captures. We play S12. He Atari's the outside at R7.
Yeah, we're not. Oh, can you play it out since you can?
Yeah, I'll try to
White
see where
T8.
his. So if I go, if it's you're
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
you're talking about
T8.
T8. Yeah, this one
Yeah.
is this one can be a co.
Okay.
It can either be a co or he can choose
Which
to
is
play
still
this
a co.
Yeah, the co
Yeah.
you were referring to, I assume you meant this one.
There's a couple co's in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
he
he
can
had
do
done the
either one.
outside Atari, it just dies, right?
Yeah, this one would just probably. Well, I can still play T8 actually.
Oh,
He would have to descend and go here, but then I can go here, and if he plays this one, it's a co. So it's still a
so
co.
it's
But
still co. Okay.
yeah,
Good.
he did not do this one. He did this Atari. Then we got these exchanges, and then he's still thinking about this move, which is good because he's only got. Oh, he played another move. He played this one with 5 seconds before Byoyomi. He played this one. How interesting. Okay. It's a bit soft, I guess.
Yeah, soft for sure.
I'll
Slow.
encroach. I will encroach. Because I know what my target number is. I'm not going to make a lot more territory in this game. I need to get him below, or as close to below 50 points as possible. So, block. That's way too small, George. That can't be good. The left side just shrunk by 12 points. The term's big. Yeah, black is supposed to ignore this move and continue with the left side, but black didn't do it. This Hane is playable, but I don't mind sacrificing one stone to dig into the bottom right further.
Yeah.
See, now I feel like the handicap is reversing. So he does cut. And what I mean by that is he has the handicap advantage in stones, but I have the handicap advantage in time.
Yeah.
Okay, extends. That's a good move. And for anybody wondering, yes, I held off on playing any probes in this corner specifically for his Byoyomi. But also
Cool.
the turn at A helps a lot with the Aji of this move. There's a lot of little tricks you can do and go, okay, he answered inside. I'll get the outside Hane later. And go ahead and play this before he Atari's S4. And just give myself another recount. Now that I've dropped him about 12 points from the left, the game should be within 20-25 points now. We've got a long end game ahead of us. I think I can make up 25 points. How will he play? He just captured. He was scared of it. Really? Okay.
Well, that should really get you dialed in here.
Mhm. What on earth? Yeah, there are just certain kind of moves. Mm, 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 mm. Block. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 51, 52, 53, 5, 6. So I need to reduce about 20 more points.
Yeah, I just counted 2, and it's yeah.
And the game is still wide open, still very early. Only 82 moves into the game. There's a lot of
It's
time
hard
left.
for me to see this as early.
He's very confused. He
I'm
was
very
expect
confused.
he was expecting the ko. I just want the squeeze in Sente because I want to get back to N3. So I want to block S12 and then play the N3 end games rather than risk all or nothing on the ko. Because I'm confident that the points are low enough now. Yeah, I'm confident the points are low enough now that I can make up 14 to 20 points in endgame.
I see. Give up the code to get absolute in game. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I would not, I may have thought of it. Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's huge.
Yeah, just
I think it's huge.
because you're picking up not a small amount, reducing him not a small amount. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this decision, I mean, if there's no way, like actually just no way to make it up in endgame, then I think the decision to not fight the ko is a mistake on my part. But I'm fairly confident that there's enough endgame on this board that I can probably do it. Especially given that my opponent's in time trouble, I think I have real chances. Okay, that's big. That's certainly big. What's biggest next? I think it has to be here.
Big.
Very big. Mm. Huh?
What? Is that a misread on his part?
I think so. Well, now the game is even.
Yeah. Or an awful lot closer.
I think he probably just missed that white pushes once and then has the space to net. He needed to be one closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the look on his face. Sorry, I forgot to relay it. He can still play b7 and salvage a good chunk of the territory.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a good reduction of about 5 to 6 points compared to if he had just played b8. Just don't resign yet, George. You're still good. Just don't resign yet, friend. I've got my hand on the add 1 minute button so he doesn't accidentally lose on time.
No. Don't do that. We need him to feel the pressure.
He resigned.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he just resigned.
Hey, George. Are you back with us? Can't hear you.
You can hear me now, hopefully.
Yeah,
Sorry about that terrible ending.
George, you're doing so good, and you're still a little ahead, I think.
How would you think? Okay.
Yeah, the KGS AI still has you up by 11, even after this move.
Okay.
Like, you just
emotionally destroyed after this.
Right.
Yeah, like it just wants you to do this, give up the stone, and then take the big end game elsewhere. But I was fairly confident that I'd be able to grind out 15 points in end game. It's early enough.
Yeah.
That's why over here I connected instead of fighting the co with you, because I wanted the guaranteed end game rather than the gamble. So that's where this one comes from. Although the KGS AI seems to think connecting was a mistake. It wants me to just do this one and then come here. But I guess
Are you doing variations on the KGS board?
Yeah, I was showing George, but we have the triple co board. You can join us on triple co, George.
Yes.
Let me post the link here in the KGS chat. There you go. And Lance, you can take it away in the triple co whenever you want.
Oh. Okay.
Everyone has control, so feel free to jump back, and the game starts at
you do it, because you're the one who's, Chris, if you don't mind, you could do the review.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. So I don't really have too much to say about the opening, to be honest.
All straightforward.
I think this one was an interesting refutation to my plan. Because my plan was to make me get closer to your side stone. So I think I was showing something basically like this was the goal. I wanted to have the attachment so I could get the extra Hane and get naturally closer to this one to break it in the future. But then when you played this one, I don't really get to do that anymore. So I have to try to do something different. So I played something stubborn. This is sort of my stubborn refutational move against your stubborn refutation of my idea. Challenging you on that front, so to speak. I was not expecting this attack to come. This one might have been a bit overzealous when white has so many different directions to become good. At this point, if I was black, I would have played the Hane and leaned on the top side first, if that's going to be your plan.
Yeah.
Get your free benefit up here by putting pressure on my cutting point. So, for example, you can play like this and then strike. Because this kind of cut doesn't help me to live, and this kind of cut also doesn't help me to live. So you can get ahead of me with these exchanges. And you don't really mind giving this to white because you have enclosure already that's reducing the upper side value.
Yeah.
White can't really expect to get a lot of points up there anyway, when black can just even take a 2-space base in the future and say, hey, you got nothing there. Even you have some weak points, right? So I think this one might have just been a touch early. Not a bad idea, but maybe just a touch early. This one is a variation on this type of play. This type of cutting fight is a natural cutting fight, but it's not guaranteed that black is going to push here and allow white to extend. And when white wants to guarantee that that's the variation that happens in Tawari, white can start by making this exchange and then by cutting and extending. So this is one of the ways that you can learn to see a shape like this for those that are wondering, how does one think of this kind of move? I think for black, your most solid response actually is probably just to thrust. Thrust and then push twice. Whoops. If I can stop misclicking, sensitivity on my mouse is insane. Because if the game goes like this, you can still play Hane in the corner. Like, your corner is not at risk of dying yet. So you can go back and live the corner, and you get a very, very strong wall. There is a bit of a weakness still with the cutting point at A. So it's important to keep that weakness in mind in terms of invasions like 1. But in general, I think that would be a strong way for black to play also. In the game, I couldn't decide if I wanted this push, though, versus the Hane, and I think both probably worked. But this was the first move of the game that I didn't agree with from you. And this also happened in our last game. This sort of random side extending move on a side that's relatively low value for no apparent reason. The only thing that I could think of was that you didn't know what to do and you thought, oh, I'll just make the right side box bigger. But if that's the case, it's a one-purpose move and it's like 50%. I wouldn't play it. The follow-up position is that it can make a box here, which is the only thing that saves this move from being totally a pass, I think.
And
But this move doesn't really
G3 would be much better.
Yeah, G3 would be way better move.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, if white tries to fight, this is a good fight for black. And you're developing the bottom right area in Sente rather than Gote. Because in this corner, you want your Gote to be here. You never want the Gote to be on the side. Because I can break the whole area starting from the corner. So you want the one Gote that you play to take it to be A to fix all your problems. So you want to try to get it by Sente if you can. This one is much more likely to be Sente than K4 is, because if white ignores it, that's a real move.
Yeah.
Right? Versus if we look at this one, white ignores it, this is not a real move. So I think K4 was the first suspicious move that you played. I was expecting you in this case actually to just settle the corner. Giving white free Sentes in the corner that are going to allow white to thicken the outside weaknesses. Basically, white can fix this in Sente. Is really, really painful and very useful to white in a handicap game. Because I can use that thickness when I break other parts of the board to attack groups that get cut off and weak. So defending the weak group is very, very important. I think we don't want to play away, and we want to not allow white to get this move. This, however, I thought was very sharp. So I wanted to give you good props on this. Counterattacking and not just passively trying to live. Very good job. And also the Hane here, very good job. You played the right direction, I think. This move is playable. I think that was a good one. There is a Tesuji at A here that I was talking with Lance about. If white answers with the counter Tesuji, then this one is a really strong Sente as a follow-up. It's going to force white to come through and cut, and then black can still come through here to make use of the cornerstones. Do you need to see this one played out?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay. So white can come through, and then black can extend here. This is general probing against all the white weakness. If white ends up connecting here, then black can connect back in the corner. If white goes for the full Hane connect sequence here, then black can cut this one. White can probably push to take that away, and then if that happens, black can aim to sacrifice the tail. But then like this, you get to capture and you're threatening a cut, right? So if white ends up having to fix the cut somehow, even though black lost the corner, black loses the corner while retaining Sente, and then gains the thickness in the center when black blocks here, which reduces a lot of the Aji in the bottom right corner, actually. So white can go for this kill, white can get the tail, but it's usually not worth it for white to do that. But this one was also fine. Nothing wrong with coming under without making any extra exchanges. This one saves the possibility of life in the corner. So this is really, really strong. And then you play the next gote here. I can't really fault it. I do think when you do this, you're making the claim and saying your corner is bigger than my corner because you're not saving your group. And probably that decision is correct. I think that the bottom right corner is bigger than the upper right corner at the moment, but saving the upper right corner gives you a benefit that defending the bottom right corner does not. And that's the follow-up weaknesses that you have against the top side and the center white area become activated when you save the group, and you lose them when that group dies.
I assumed that I was already dead at this point.
Yeah, you can. We looked at it actually, but B can live. If white tries very, very hard to save it, black has a push here and Sente and a peep. And so black can make a second die this way. And so still possible to live the group if you make the attachment. When white gets back to S18, however, the group is dead. This was a huge burden off of white because it meant that white could treat the outside much stronger than it actually was. Bless you. And then you played this one, which is fine. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. I would, however, have probably blocked this way.
I was thinking that, but that seems to highlight just how bad K4 is, right?
Yeah, but if you don't, and I get to play around G3 and then I get to punish K4, then it's worse.
Yeah.
At least this way, you create an actual double threat. You have one box, you have two box, and I cannot break both box, right? So you guarantee you're going to get at least one half of this huge bottom center if you play this way.
Yeah.
So you chose this one. It's probably fine. I have to play G3. I can't give you both. Here, small tactical thing. Hane might have been better. If black comes through against the Hane, or white, I mean, comes through against the Hane with the Satari, black has two choices, actually. You can just connect or you can thrust. But this is a pattern that you should at the very least be aware of. Because it's very difficult for white to push through when this exists. Right? So if white has to come back, then this one guarantees white never gets to block it at H5. So it's like you insert the turn ahead of time. Like this, I get to walk away and then ask you a very pressing question, which is my favorite question to ask anybody in Go. I love this move. It will always be my favorite, and I will always play it. And I hope it's annoying for everyone I play it against. Here might have been a bit too soft. I mean, it's a handicap game, so it's fine. But I would have double hunted, personally. I don't know what we would be afraid of. None of the inside cuts, I think, actually particularly matter to you. Even if the shape goes like this, I think black's happy to turn white into a dumpling. Right, and if white doesn't go for the cut, if white just simply connects, then black can actually just extend here. I have no inside fighting power. I can't really do this. This would be incredibly difficult for me to fight this. Maybe it's possible, but with no white group that's really strong nearby to connect out to, I'm going to be a floating stick. Even if I do get something like this, I'm a floating stick, and now you have something to attack, and you get to convert the whole left side pretty much on a whim to your territory. So, like, even this one is probably fine for you. Like this one, I can just treat it like a good exchange in Snooki.
Yeah, true.
Now for Lance, he was unsure. He was talking about maybe approaching and threatening to invade. I think that's probably fine as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
that
glad to hear that.
there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's just I like having the double threat of the center box as well as the topside territory. And if black commits to the corner, then anything else that I play against the corner is guaranteed to be sent later. So it just gives me that other psychological benefit. I saw this one. I was very surprised. I don't think the top was the biggest area on the board. Personally,
I don't know. It looks awfully big.
it does, but I really think it should be from this direction if he's going to play it because his center is awfully bigger.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I'm just not really compelled to answer this. And then this turn, Lance and I both kind of scratched our heads. We had no idea where this one came from. Enlighten us, George.
I didn't really see much of a follow-up that I was afraid of in the bottom right. And I guess I felt like I was finally bridging the gap between my two groups on the bottom, which would allow me to, to do more impressive things in the center. But yeah, I don't think I have an especially good reason for me to play there. It just felt like a good thing for me to do to bridge that gap, like I should have done earlier, right?
Yeah, it's just a bit slow now, I think. I thought you were trying to build up for some like attack here or attack here, maybe. But
yeah, that's also something like trying to swallow the two stones on a big scale or putting some pressure on those two stones.
Yeah, here I think we needed to cut.
Okay.
Here I think we needed to cut and then just play the Atari and allow white to cut you. Right? Because like white can live in the corner with this one. You can stick white back in the corner this way. But you really want to not run into the Aji problems of that R8 stone. And this one kind of ran headfirst into that because I don't think you expected to get clamped.
Yeah.
But Lance and I were both looking at this clamp, drooling and foaming.
It's so big.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I was thinking like, oh, he's probably reading the sequence up to like 1 to 7 in the corner, and then he'll play 8 or 9. This is probably your plan. This is what I thought. Maybe you were thinking it was going to go something like this. But yeah, strong players, we don't roll over that easy. We like to ask the difficult questions, you know. And then this I just thought was bigger, so probably here it might have been bigger actually to just go back and, well, you can't really even take that. It's hard to say if playing in the bottom right corner is even going to be correct for black. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure where black should go next. Because in the game, it doesn't really feel like black has anything to do. All of black's positions are quite passive. And you're really just trying to consolidate your territory lead at this point. Because around here, I was calculating that you were about 30 points up. There's like some 80 to 50. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if black keeps everything, black will win the game easily. But if I can encroach and make small incremental gains, then I'll have a chance come later in the end game to do something, right? It's only move 7. The game's still fairly early. It's a very big end game. Lots of chances for you to make end game mistakes. But in general, it feels like the type of game black is going to get is just try to play optimal end game in black and win. There's really not much for you to do like middle game wise anymore. So from this point forward, it's just a lecture on endgame.
Yeah.
Allowing the turn in the center or on the left side, I think, is really big. I would not have done that. I would have pushed. Even if white like jumps and you have to extend, and then white gets to come in, right? Like this type of thing is going to be much bigger for you, given your left side, than it will be for black to just passively block the center points. Because even if I come in, if I have to come in if I have to come in slow like this to avoid getting cut, then you're not really losing a lot of points in the center if you think about it. Like, you can just look, how many points did you actually lose here compared to blocking down the K line?
Yeah.
It's like just these. So you're still going to get this, but on the left-hand side, you've saved all of that.
Mm.
And
also, I guess you turning and dropping down on the left-hand side, that opens up RG in the corner as well to me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So this one was this is a very common Oyose or large endgame mistake, where players will block the center endgame when it's just objectively smaller than the left-sided type of endgame. But it comes from either not counting or improper counting, I guess. But I think blocking here kind of enwrote and allowing me to get the turn was quite big. I was very, very happy to get that move. And then, yeah, this was big endgame. And then here at this point, this is where I actually started thinking I can win the game now. Like, I was thinking winning the game was not realistic until this. Because now you're at a territory deficit in the corner. The corner is not really efficient anymore. So I can just take the next big place, and mine's worth more. Because you were afraid of Aji that was cleared when you played C17. I can't live there. A general rule of thumb: if this move did not protect the Aji in the corner at the Sansan and allow you to kill that stone, then the move at 1 was not a good move. It was played too early. But in this case, even if you had extended, I wasn't going to be able to live inside. This group was going to die. Like, even if I wanted to play like this, it wasn't going to be possible to eke out the life that I wanted. So you can probably even just clamp and extend, to be honest. But if this stone doesn't help you, then it was played too early. But in general, once you got the first Hana, you really don't need the Atari. When you took the Atari and then we got like up to this point in the end game, I counted again. And at this point, the lead had dropped 10 points, given the turn at D11 being both very big and also costing you an extra move at D16. So now 20 points, much more manageable when it's only move 86, right? Within a span of 10 moves, I made 10 points. I gained 1 point per stone. We still have another 120 moves left in this game. So I'm thinking, okay, I can catch up. Reduce the center, get the guaranteed end game. This, I can't speak to how correct Connect is versus Block. I don't think I'm strong enough to really properly evaluate this co.
Except that it's a risk that you don't need.
Yeah, exactly. The only evaluation I made on the right hand side was I could play the co, and if I win the co, I probably win on the spot. Or at the very least, I'm going to be ahead. But if I lose the co, I stand to lose another 5 to 7 points in endgame, if not more. And when I've already gotten the game within 20 points, do I really want to push it back to 30 on the whim of some co? It's early enough in the end game that I'm fairly confident, given the level difference and the fact that you have low time, I could eke out 20 points in end game. So just connect and give up the 4 stones, and then just take the big end games. Was basically my strategy. Here, this one probably just needs to be this.
Yeah.
I think you maybe hallucinated that you were 1 line closer.
Right.
I just didn't see the nets.
Yeah, this one doesn't really work for white if you're 4 spaces away from the wall, I mean. But if you're 5 spaces away from the cut, then it's playable. Yeah, if you do this one, then there's not much left for me to do on the left-hand side. I can still make the cut as a placement, but I can't do anything with it. Yet, anyway. So from here, the end game would go on. And we would clean up this area, we would clean up this area, we would clean up this area. we would figure out what's going on in this area, and then it would be small end games. And then if I can get 1 to 2 point advantage in each of those areas, and then eke out a good 3 to 5 points in small end game, I can win by half a point.
Well, George, thanks for being our guinea pig.
No problem. Thank you both.
And I'd like us to do this again because you're close to nailing it, you know?
That'd be great. And I will study this video and the last time we played, and hopefully I will be able to soon manage it. Yeah.
Chris, thank you again as always. We really appreciate your wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, viewers, hope you got something. Catch you
Bye-bye.
later.
See ya.
Take care. Bye.